All right, we are live on YouTube. I'm waiting for it to load up on the YouTube type screen thingy dingy. Happy Saturday. It's been a rip, snorting, rock and rolling sort of a couple of weeks for me. Oh, golly gosh, gee willikers. I have to close that out. I am trying to set this up so I can read the whoopsie doodle. Well, maybe I can see it this way. Let's see if I can. I'm trying to make it so I can read the chat a little bit easier. And so far, what I'm doing here is not being particularly helpful. That might be helpful there. I have to kind of cover up part of my screen. I just don't want to see me, but I do. Anyway, happy Saturday. I got like a mega thing to share. I don't know if I'm going to be able to share all of it. Sorry. I'm over there. I haven't been really getting a whole lot of stuff for me to dictate into my phone, but something did happen. Started this like November 14th, and this kind of came up where I was able to put some more details into it because I started reading it. I started it on the 9th of September, ninth month. December 9th of December. Today is the 13th, so 4 days ago. Oh my word. Isn't that what happened last week? Fours kept coming up. By the way, this is a different kind of a weekend because I haven't done anything with this. This is out of the shower, air dried, and I got sick of trying to pull it off of. I'm probably going to take it down because I'll just brush it off my glasses or whatever. Anyway, I'm trying to feel like do things a little different. Take a different drive into work. Pretty limited on that, but you know, go to a different store. Just changing up the routine at home. One of the things I've been doing too is disconnecting. The problem with disconnecting for some of us is that there is a tendency to get a little bit too much in our heads. And I think that's what kind of started happening. I was able to focus on work a little bit better, but the problem was the work was really rough. I'm going to have to start reading that. So say what came up on the 9th was, and this was the heavy bit. Why are we here? I kind of felt like, oh, what's the freaking point? This came up probably because there's some really extensively deep and heavy things that happened the previous week and probably even before that. And starting this week off was really, 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 really rough. One of the things that I think we get to that point is it's important for us to make sure that we're going to ask for help. And that was a pervasive discussion that I had with several people for the day job that you got to ask for help. I can't help you if you don't tell me what's going on. Some of it is just, thinking that you get used to trying to tread water or keep your head above water, and you don't even really think about, oh, I guess I could ask, right? And we don't have to travel that road on our own. That's why we need to ask for help. And the other thing is too, that when that help does come along, sometimes it doesn't come in ways that we think that it's coming along. I gotta change this because this is driving me crazy. There we go. Yep. But I guess the point is that making sure that we can ask for help, get the help, and once we get that help, that we are open to receiving it and utilizing it. Who is guilty of all of a sudden you realize that, oh, they're offering me help. No, I can do this on my own. It's like, no, we have to ask, we have to be asking for it and open to receiving it. And it doesn't necessarily, we have to be asking a human being. We can ask for help by the ether or from the ether, and that whatever that means to you, of course. Don't even think I really have to explain that. But it just kept coming back. We have to be open to receiving it. Because receiving it from different avenues, coming in from unusual places. One of the things that people tell me at the day job, some of the staff and whatnot, they say, "Oh, your people really love you." It's like, yeah, till they hate you, right? And I get that. There's no judgment in that in those statements, because make it clear that the feelings that people express to you are in that moment, sometimes in the heat of a moment, is a genuine feeling. Not always. You can kind of tell that there's this manipulation thing going on, and I'm going to say this in such a vitriolic way that I'm going to get a response. Well, a response that I want. We're aware of this, right? Well, most of us, and we don't react to it. Anyway. And this has been really challenging, only because that over the last several months, things have really been very, very challenging. And it was really hard to maintain compassion in the last month or so, because regardless of how good you are at hiding it, and this came up in some Carl Jung stuff that I read and listened to, that the body and the mind and the heart and the soul can only manage so many of those beatings, right? There's a song by Imagine Dragons, I believe it's called Pain. There's an original or official video or something that where they were boxing, and the guy, the younger character, says, "Stop, I want to stop, let's just stop." And the other character, more like a patriarch, says, "We can't," or "I can't," or something. And that's kind of the point, is where I felt I was being, despite my absolutely feeling like I was close to flatlining in a few different ways, and it was rough because I felt like I needed to ask for help and I didn't. I finally did get to that point, and I still have like this gratitude thing that I do, but that's different. That's definitely different as to what's going on. I, and some of the stuff was really difficult to do, because I actually got, when I had asked for help last week and it wasn't to a human being, people started coming forward and actually saying that to my face. I mean, somebody did a while back, but I had it happen 3 times, where someone said, "I love you." And one of the I love yous came from someone who I had never heard speak before, and I've had them for a few years. So that was very profound for me, that realizing, well, I guess that because I asked for help really didn't come from a person or in a way or in a place that I was expecting. So, and I work with some pretty hardcore people, and they've been through a lot too. And it's part of public record now, that not by my doing, but apparently there's something out there that's officially part of a record, that I guess I'm doing a pretty good job, which I don't feel like most of the time. That self-deprecating thing is very, very pervasive. And if you think you've taken care of it a lot of times, it can just come, like, yeah, it just comes right back. But I thank each and every one of them for all the spoken and unspoken and heartfelt support, because there are times where I will just be driving and there will be overwhelming senses of gratitude that will stop you in your tracks. Couple of times I felt like I almost had to pull over because I drive a lot and I'm going to do a lot of driving this upcoming week. But yeah, it really did. I mean, it really, don't get to the point where like I did, and at the end of the day, you feel like you're in looking for that psychological shovel to dig the hole. Right? And moving forward with those examples, that we all have our unique responses and the facets that we're involved with seeing and the filters that we're involved with using, that it's easy for us to forget that we're all going to have, to the same and similar circumstances, a different response, and that's why. But we are all here for an experience, and we're supposed to enjoy it. And that's the bottom line. We're supposed to enjoy it. Going back and looking back at those things that I experienced, as difficult as it was over the last, I'm going to say since, I'm going to say it goes way in the Wayback Machine. Though those things, when it got really, really tough, where there was a real rock bottom climbing out from, and I feel like I'm at the edge of that, crawling out. It's been a long road. We're talking over 10 years, like way longer. So it took me a long time. Don't take that long. Don't wait. Don't wait to ask for help. Because there is a common thread. There is definitely a common thread. We're all here for the experience, and we're supposed to enjoy it. And what holds us back from that joy, I don't know. Can't say that I always have an open heart and an open mind, because you get tired of being pelted. The heart gets pelted, let me tell you. If we're not, we need to readjust our focus, and that's what it is. By thinking that you close your heart, you readjust your focus, you clean up, you take that hermit rest, we realign, and we tweak and retweak that view, cleaning off our lenses. And ultimately, we're not here to save anyone. We're not even here to save ourselves. What seems to be the key is enjoying and relishing the ride, the experience. Man, I was that kid in that roller coaster and still feel like I am, because people tell me I take too many risks. Yeah, I probably do. But I'd be that kid sitting in the front car of that roller coaster with my hands raised right up over my head. And I got a lot of funny looks, and back in that day, good gust of wind could have carried me off. And if the front car wasn't available, I'd look to the back to see if I could get that ride, because you get a whole different experience. But it was still one heck of a ride. So, having said all of that, it feels like maybe we could look at, and this is what I'm thinking about doing, maybe even like a pick a card series, where there is a choice of a relationship, which some people might consider as a love type based, but I don't think that's necessarily accurate. But relationships, career, and relationships could be with money too. But career, and then really looking at self. So self, career, and relationships. That's maybe kind of the focus. So how can we enjoy this ride, and I guess maybe even like a general reading, so to speak. I gotta move my screen thingy over, and I'm gonna scooch something else over so I can see the thingy dingy better. Cause and I might be changing my logo too. I still haven't been able to, I got my screen like really wacky. All right, there we go. I'm gonna change the camera over. It is gonna twitch. Sorry about that. Again, have not figured out how to get that thing not to do that because it drives me absolutely freaking nuts. All right. Well, I hope the sound's been all right. I did not check the sound. So it looks like it's a little on the low side, but I can't tell. Audio settings. It's a little on the low side. So I'm going to drop the microphone down a little bit. There we go. Maybe that's a little bit better. I don't know. There we go. We'll see how that does. And I could probably do that too. Maybe that'll work. Yeah, that's much better. I have a nice boom and everything. It's just, it is what it is. All right. Okay, so yeah, we're kind of looking at that whole idea. Maybe this is like a pervasive thing of self-help too. I'm going to take a little sip. I did not read most of what I had dictated this morning because that was most of that came through this morning. And I hope everybody is having a great time. Because that's what it is. This is about the experience. How can we enhance our experience? So maybe looking at that, getting some clarity. I think that moving forward, things are going to be a little bit lighter. I don't know why, but things have been hugely. Oh, what was it? We had 12/12 yesterday. And I was with a client during that. Four of Pentacles. Yeah, we've been hanging on it kind of tight. We've been hanging on kind of tight. And we're finding value. So one of the things I think though too is, well, that's kind of weird. The dude's foot looks like a hand. Oh my gosh, that's so weird looking. Anyway, maybe that's just me. But he looks like he's got a lot. It's just that they're not being regarded. What's that all under his feet? It's like, oh, kind of like a Scrooge mentality that we've been having. Kind of a Scroogey kind of hanging on because those four pentacles are not going to grow if we don't at least spend one or use one, invest one, at least one. Because he's got the one behind his head, one at either side, and then the one on the floor. So, I mean, if that's the spare, why not invest that? We have something where we're not investing either our time. I know that's kind of been that's going to be a struggle with the holidays, people being so busy. Not going to happen in this house. Limit very, very limited with my, or I should say frugal with my time with others. Hard control with the Chariot. Moves quick. This is Cancer. So that's a water. No, it's got something to do with travel. So getting out more, and that's kind of maybe what this speaks of, is that these kind of are juxtaposed where the dude's staying at home, but we need to get our butts out. Unfortunately, with this hard control, we don't have, it's kind of saying that we want to have control of the circumstances once we get out there. That's not always possible, so we're going to have to embrace the mystery. And figure out how to have that balance between the wolfy wild side and that tamer side. Right? Right. Makes sense to me anyway. Y'all can share this out if someone thinks that it might be helpful to someone else. That would be greatly appreciated. Excuse me. One more. Yeah, Knight of Wands. Okay, some fiery energy, spontaneity. Again, that kind of supports trying to find that balance between these guys is that Knight of Wands. Now, I think the Knight of Swords is the traditionally, he's like really out of control with the thoughts and words, and I don't know, this is kind of speaking communication as well, so there might be some information coming in fairly quickly. Okay. Thought that was it, but maybe not, because we have the other two. I have the other deck. These are all gilded. This one's blue, that one's gold, that one's silver. I kind of feel like that there is something elemental about the metals, the different colors, definitely have their own frequency. Queen of Wands, we're got to get to that point where we don't give a rip. We're going to have to kind of, embrace the fact that we have what we need, and if we're not settled in having every little detail, we're going to have to overcome that and just do it. It's like we don't need all the answers. We have everything we need, learning to ride a bicycle as a kid, we're going to scrape our knees, that's okay. Oh my gosh. All right. So that was really bad. Making a decision. All right, I can keep, this is laughing. All right. So this is a phrase. Uh, you're just gonna have we. I gotta say, we just gotta shit or get off the pot. We gotta make a decision. You know, and it's not a this or that thing either. It's got to be something different and getting out of our heads. Oh my God. I have not said that in quite a while. Oh my word. Well, this is kind of different. I didn't see this playing out before like this. Took a little sip. Right. Getting up early, utilizing our time well. And if you wake up, this is, when I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning or even at midnight, I have to take an assessment of what it is that's going on and, kind of reground. I've had to reground waking up. Excuse me, I have to adjust my little, I'm going to call him my watcher. Anyway, I wish you could see what I'm looking at. But anyway, yeah, we have to kind of assess where we're at in that given point in time. There might be something we need to stay up for, or to kind of process, or go back to bed and process it further. All right, and this is 10 of Cups. Talk about a wish fulfillment. Now, in the other 10 of Cups, it's about family. And here it looks like a mom or a that's a very grandma-y bun with a little girl. But this is like soup to nuts for me. Some people look at this as like an ending. I do not. I look at it as an enriched feeling. When we do goals and plans, it doesn't mean that once those are fulfilled that you're gonna, like I said before, you're not gonna dig the hole and just jump in. You're gonna, it's something that's perpetual, that it's ongoing. You just keep creating this new goals and new things to outline and new challenges. It doesn't mean it has to be in the same thing, the same arena. Oh, King of Cups, baby, with the Queen of Wands. Wow, because he's like totally in touch with who he is, where he's at. Super great balance. We all need somebody in our life with that divine masculine and that King of Cups. And he knows where he's at. He knows how to focus on himself and when to dish it out to others, because you can see a look on his face. It's a very inward focused, I guess, countenance, but it looks like he's offering that cup out. And his hand is almost open. It's just enough to cradle the cup. Oh, come on. Another really naughty phrase would be something like balls out. All right, so sorry about that if you're offended, but not really. I'm not sorry. All right, so might take multiple tries, might take a partner or two with you, but it's a time of celebration and a time of gathering. This doesn't mean a lot of people. There's something about, now my parents they've been passed away for a long time. And it's kind of like that familial thing in this stage is not as pervasive, but it might be for some. And there are some who are going, I don't know, I heard something about a cousin, and maybe even like a third party, so might be connecting to someone who knows someone that will be connecting. That was just kind of a weird little sidebar thing. All right. So these cards do have a tendency to be a little bit dark, but very, 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 I don't know, it's kind of a weird deck. And I haven't used it in a really long time, but the artwork is stunning. And I pulled the book out because I have kind of feeling like I'm not really in touch, but it feels very deep, very, not really introspective, but very deep. So I want to be careful and give honor to the author of this deck. Mysterious Moonstone, right? So first out, second out, and I have the book. It's called Wisdom of the House of Night. Complicated. Yeah, I think we sometimes overcomplicate things. Oh my gosh. No, that's number two. Number two, but it looks like 11. Just saying. 11. Complicated. Well, let's look at number 11. It is number 11. Love that. It would be nice if life were always simple and things were obvious and transparent. So drawing this symbol, the one, and then with the moon, I'm going to look at it. And there's like a Fibonacci circle with it's like a teardrop. See if you can kind of see it in the center there. There's definitely a crescent moon. Sometimes there are so many elements to consider that it can be next to impossible to understand them, especially all in the moment, especially when we want to find an answer. So this feels like we got to make decisions. We want answers to our decisions. But simple can be boring. I don't think that's what's going on here. And that's why things are complicated. And complications make for a deeper, more mature experience. So it's yes, God, don't try and figure it out. I think card reading is awesome, but a lot of times we can get a little too wrapped up in trying to figure out the details. And card reading is really, as Chris Reck would say, loose guidance at best, but it puts these things and ties in these different threads and what we've heard throughout the week or day, or even month or years. So be open and follow the threads of life's mysterious web, threads, strings, right? Stringing it all together. Yeah. So this is the warrior. This warrior, he's pretty pristine. He's very young. It might look like he's got some shadow scarring on him. So we might be picking up things from the ether that are not ours. Let's look what the warrior has to say. It's a fortunate sign that no matter what is happening in life, we are protected. So I feel like this is us, though. If we have questions regarding love, it represents someone who is deeply committed, protective, and kind to you. I feel like that some of us have that, and some of us don't realize that we do. It's also about friendship and realizing that the love in our friendships are sacred, which is really, really something for those of us who feel deeply that it's difficult when those people remove themselves from our lives. It's extremely challenging. So this is a reminder that learning and discerning who is true and who is not is something that we need to kind of hang on to and know that the decision is correct for us and whatever that is. Because the other message to consider is making sure that we embody those same qualities in ourselves. So like commitment. So commitment to a friendship, commitment to any relationship. And how committed are we to that path? Wow. Okay. So yeah, because we can get into a relationship and kind of, that, you know, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it worth putting the effort in to getting out of it what we are expecting? And that's it again too. It's about our expectations. I love this. Let's not get too serious. All right, stay playful. And that's hard for me to do too, because you get really deep into your head. And oh my goodness, what's that number? 44. Somebody came into our building and they had a visitor's tag on that said a bunch of fours on it. I'm just going to leave it at that. So it was like, what is up with that? Okay. So this means it's a time to lighten up and be playful. So yes, guilty party speaking, too much in my head. So, whatever we're asking about, we need to keep our sense of humor, which I feel like I do. And people that don't get that sense of humor, if you're offended, you have to step back. And yes, you need to step back and figure out, is it me? I'm getting overly offended because that's easy to do for people today, right? Wouldn't it be better if we were enjoying our life rather than sitting around and waiting for what we want to happen and people to say what we want them to say and do what we want them to do? You need to heard balls out again. Yeah, we just need to lighten up, be playful when this pops up, since this has come up. It's not that we have to make this happen, it's that it is going to happen. So, oh, come on. Do I really have to? All right. Hang on to your short and curlies. Um, Gosh, that's really bad. That's really bad. I'm gonna have to start doing this on Rumble so I don't have to worry about it. I'm saying the forbidden. Maybe we're gonna unlock those forbidden doors. I don't know. I think we have some societal things that keep us kind of maybe sheltered. 18, I'm gonna have to mark this for over the age of 21, man. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is like a discernment thing too, because it's saying forbidden reminds us that we may feel pain when someone rejects us. It's our ways, it's the ether's ways of protecting us. And I guess this is hard for some of us to relate to because it's not, as you hear, rejection is, the universe's protection. I think that's ultimately what it's trying to say here, but I guess having, it's almost like a third party experience sometimes. It's like, well, if that didn't work, I guess I'll go somewhere else or try something else. I'm not gonna stick around. I'm not gonna keep, rattling the door. I might rattle people's cages. I do that. I have fun at doing that because I'll rattle your cage if you have the ability to do something and you're not doing it. But if this is something that is so blocked off and locked up and I don't have the key to it, I can walk away. And a lot of times what will end up happening is when we walk away, that key will find it and our travel away from that particular gem. Because let's face it, we might not be ready to handle what's behind that hidden door. Ooh, man, that was good. We're going to possibly find what's behind the hidden doors. And boy, it could be political things, could be money things, relationship things. There's going to be a lot of exposure. And it's not even necessarily that we're going to be the ones who are going to be unlocking these doors. They're going to be unlocked by those around us. Some of them might be very, very close. I don't know why the political thing got into my head. I really cannot stand this game that they're playing. People get so wrapped up in it and believe it. It's just another popcorn circus. I did a little thing called Puppets on Parade when they had the election, and then I put it out, I think, in end of October, beginning of November last year. And let me tell you, I really felt that hit the mark, and we are all so wrapped up in this thing, that thing. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. If it's locked up and think people are trying to get your attention and get you to try and be indecisive about the things that you know don't really matter, they're going to take your attention away from the things that do. Nippy skippy. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Aren't we in the Aquarius? right now? Isn't this the time of year? I think so. And that's about freedom, right? This is about spontaneity and getting in touch with that wild side. Air is also the like air signs, swords is air, thoughts, words. Man, we got to get out of our heads. Get rid of the duplicity. Ooh, okay. Maybe it's gonna take us a few months to get there. We're not even into it's freaking cold out. It's been well below freezing point. Not gonna get above it anytime in the near and like the next 10 days. But there's going to be something to bring a spring-like feeling. Ooh, that'd be nice, huh? Spring-like feeling. And it may take a while to do. Something about a floral arrangement and branching out. So maybe it's about getting that playful side, getting out of our heads. Lighten the fire. Get moving. Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. Both my kids are fire signs, y'all. Hi, Jay. Yeah, it's freaking cold there. 20 below. Oh, let me check. I'm just gonna grab my phone. I don't think it's quite that cold here. Oh, are you doing Celsius? If you're doing Celsius, let's see, 18. 30, like 30, is that 52? Yeah, I think it's like -8 Celsius here. So yeah, it's pretty chilly bean. It was down to like pretty close to what you're talking about, but it was nighttime. It were nighttime at that point. So but thanks for stopping by. You still need to send me like a friend message or something like that, and we should have a chit chat and do a little human encounters thing. Responsibilities, childhood immaturity, and innocence. And again, this is going to go back to the playfulness, right? I almost put this rock over there, but yeah, so the children responsibilities. So we are going to still maintain our maturity. It does say immaturity, but people are going to also, oh, act your age. It's like, that would not be a no coming out of me. If somebody told me to act my age, I would ask them why. And I don't even know what that means. Act your age? What is that? What does that even mean? What's the fun in that? Be open to giving and receiving love. A new partner or the reining in of an existing relationship is imminent. So oh God, you're not going to believe the next card. Um, yeah, reigniting an existing relationship or strengthening. I kind of feel like that there are a lot of people that are in a relationship, and if you try pulling away, sometimes that can strengthen the bond. It's like stretching a muscle. And the cords get thicker and deeper and stronger, but it pulls you back. Don't try to stray too far from that relationship. If that's where you're at, of course, if it's toxic, run, baby, run. All right. So here we are with that crazy number again, y'all. Oh my God. Can you continue to work hard and it says say dedicated? I think it means to say stay dedicated. Success is ours for the taking as long as we don't give up. So I've heard this a lot, that not giving up. And it feels like a lot of us are tempted to just give up on certain things or people. And if you feel like you've been wronged or you feel like someone has abandoned you, you have to let go of that. It doesn't letting go of something does not mean giving up. Letting go is this guy. He has an open hand with that cup. He always has means to refill it. He's never going to give more than he has. But it's always full steam ahead. I love this number. I love this number. I feel like there's more here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think that's a subtle 12-pound amaranth. Start a new course or research information that will help you enhance your knowledge base that aligns with your goals and pursuits. There's also something here about enhancing the knowledge base. So whatever it is that we're going to do research on, it's going to enhance our knowledge base. So one of the things I'm very proud of being able to do with my people is I can talk to them about just about anything. And if I don't know what they're talking about, I'm going to be open to learning, and I'm going to ask intelligent questions and in ways that, man, people will share the most amazing things. So also, this is like really like a huge shift here. Pay close attention to your dreams for an important message or guidance. So for a long time, I was not having dreams, and they've started up again, and it's important for us. Some of them have been really weird. Like I get usually just snippets. I don't know if anybody has like long streaming dreams. I do not. But mine are a hugely vivid and jam-packed with emotion and intent. It's like really cryptic. So that's unique to each and every one of us. Right. So let us get the final gig here with the ether's sacred geometry. Like my throat's going dry here. I'm going to take a little sip. Yeah, I wouldn't act 50 either. There's somebody I've been talking to. I tell you what, they make me feel like I'm 16. And it's so much fun. I really enjoy anybody who can help tap into that youthful energy. Cosmic Flower. I don't know if I've ever seen this card. The frequency of Cosmic Flower activates our remembrance of the place we call home. There are some people that will make us feel not only at home, wow, I don't know if I can share that. Well, let me just finish this. The core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world we call home. There are some people that when we meet them, speak with them, have that embrace, there's like this deep inhale and exhale of comfort, security, coziness. There's no feeling of any anxiety. There's just like this overall sense of I'm home. And that's a rare quality to meet in people. So this is ultimately, if we aren't experiencing that, this is something that we're going to be able to provide for other people, is giving that sense of comfort, that sense of home. Perception. I think we were talking about perception over here too. The frequency of perception supports our natural curiosity, moving us beyond our comfort zone to find the edges of what we perceive as real and to take a good, hard, deep look at it. Perception. And I talked about perception a little bit earlier, and the interesting thing about that is, I get a lot of stuff, a lot of information that I hear from others saying, step outside your comfort zone. What I'm doing right now is so amazingly outside my comfort zone, you have no idea. So doing something as often and as regular as possible without giving ourselves another layer of trauma that's outside of our comfort zone is really helpful. And it's all about alchemy, right? Alchemy activates our magical ability and remembrance of the magic that we all hold inside. Each one of us has the potential to access the ancient knowledge that allowed the true alchemist to perform the miracles of transmutation. That's amazing. Because this kind of reminds me of when you cook or bake, because you can have something that, where you look at the recipe and the ingredients are, so much of this and so much of that, and the temperatures, and you get everything right. But it's the love, care, and attention that you give in the details of putting that, whatever it is that you're making together, that makes the difference. I'm going to come back over to the camera and switch it over. Thanks so much for stopping by, Jay. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so this whole thing of alchemy, and even though, like I said, if we have that recipe, it's going to be different for each one of us. The outcome is still going to be different, and it has to do with the filters and everything else. So hopefully that's not too loud. It looks like it's it's the my turning up the thing worked. So yeah, very, very different kind of day. So doing less to achieve more. So nothing stressed or curled or anything like that. So we gotta figure it out. We gotta figure it out what's gonna work, what's gonna be the best for each one of us, and not give a rip about what other people think. Having said that, also keep yourself safe. Ask for help, whether it's from someone else or from the ether. There has been a definite paradigm shift again. There's going to be some things that are going to open up. Something about openings. We're going to have to stay open-minded. Somebody might be eating crow. Don't know where that came from. But anyway. I hope it's not you. And if it is, it's okay. So anyway, if everybody wants to thank you, Jay, much appreciated. Please do like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions or need any help, make sure you do ask. And I really do look